Vito, here we are. It's Wednesday. You know what that means,
You know what
brother.
that means? Yeah. Dynamite is over.
Here we go. It
Here
is
we are.
it is the Brandon Vito recapping the AEW Dynamite for June 1st, 2022.
June. Man,
It's
can
already
you believe
June,
it?
dude. We're halfway through this year. It's ridiculous.
Man, all right. Now that we know it's June, let's move on.
Let's do half Christmas on the show. Uh But yeah, man, here we are. Vito TV, Pro Wrestling Planet. We're talking about AEW Dynamite like as we do. Vito, this show was awesome.
It was great.
I
It was
think,
great.
dude, this
You're not gonna hear me say nothing bad about this.
bro,
Spoilers.
I tell you what, man, as a whole, I was so impressed with this. This is really
Yep.
like one of the, I enjoyed this show so much, more than any
Yep.
like televised wrestling show I have in a long time.
Me too. This is a really good show.
Dude.
All over. All
Yeah.
top to bottom, good show.
So we'll just say that right off the bat. You know, if you're
Yep.
just, if you listen to this sort of thing just to kind of pick and sift through what you may want to watch on, watch back or whatever, you got to watch this whole thing because everything is awesome. This was the California debut of AEW, which is hard to believe, man, that this is literally the first show they had in the state of California.
It
Hopefully,
gives me hope though.
right? Hopefully that
You
means
know?
they're coming to Oregon soon, huh?
West Coast, get them back on the West Coast. They got a couple Seattle wrestlers in their company. Maybe at least come to Seattle. I'll make the trip. You make the trip. If Seattle's the only show they go to,
If Seattle was
making
the
the trip.
closest, I would do it. At this point,
Yeah.
I am that high on this company and the
Yeah.
stuff that they're doing that I would make the trip, but I don't think it's unfathomable to see a Portland date.
No. Me neither.
We did the NXT pay-per-view a couple years ago, right before the pandemic, and they did the Moda Center, and of course they tarped off the top hat, like the top section, but there was a good 7,000 in the place reportedly, and I gotta think there's a lot of crossover with the audience, at least from that era of NXT.
Probably.
To now, Adam Cole main evented the show. So yeah, I think I think they could do it. I think they could do decent. At least draw somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000. Maybe not even do the Moda. You could do Memorial, and then you don't need to have a huge building. You know what I mean? WWE never runs Memorial Coliseum. It sits there doing nothing most of the time.
Pro wrestling in the Northwest is big. We do it big up here.
Absolutely.
So,
A storied area, but that's our beg and plead. AEW, please come to Oregon. Please come to the Pacific Northwest.
please.
But yeah,
Listen to Brian Danielson, Darby Allin, and Aubrey Edwards.
see, there you go. They have built-in draws from the area there already. I like it. This starts with Punk and FTR out. Punk is so happy he's the champion. He does a stage dive off the ramp.
Throws the title down first.
Yeah, of course. You can't have anyone running out with the belt.
Yeah.
Or anything. Then we get Acclaimed and Gun Club come out. Caster's rap was awesome. He drops a sick line about making them pay like Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Which was
I love that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh man.
And this Ass Boys thing is over, bro. What do you think?
I like this the Ass Boys. I remember when it first started. It started on the Jericho cruise. Danhausen started it on the Jericho cruise.
Is he responsible for the whole thing?
Yes, he
Okay.
started the Ass Boys.
All right.
Because it's Mr. Ass.
Right.
You know, he thinks that's Billy Gunn's last name.
Right. So
He
they're
li-
the Ass Boys.
so
Yes.
they're the
I've
Ass
seen
Boys.
the
Yes.
vlogs,
So
but I didn't know that he's the one that like actually started it. I thought he was
yeah,
maybe
no,
continuing it.
he's Ass Boys.
Okay.
But I like the thing they do where they like say the wrong cities, you know, and remember their name, the Scissor Crew. Don't
Right.
forget that.
Yeah.
You know, Sacramento, San Diego, and then the injured. I always forget his name. What's his name? Max Caster and
Yeah, the other guy.
the other guy.
The guy that the less better
The injured
rapper.
one. Yeah.
But
He says it right. You know, even though they're heels, kinda, he's still kind of face-ish. It's kind of weird.
it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
They're over, but people like to hate on the Ass Boys.
And what's funny is the Ass Boys are like, oh, don't call us that. We hate that name. But their dad is wearing a shirt that says Ass Boys on it.
See? Right. And yeah, just like in the vlogs, you know, he would just think that it was hilarious, you know, and just like didn't really let it bother him. He thinks, you know, he gets a kick out of it or whatever. And very interesting dynamic between those four. So we get this 6-man tag. This was awesome, you know, good way to start off the show. FTR, they're full on baby faces now. In case you're, you know, not keeping score at home. Them teaming with Punk here solidifies that. Cash works both of the Ass Boys first. Then he makes a tag to Punk, who then starts working with Caster. Then Dax gets tagged in. Then Austin Gunn back in, who tags Colton back in to work over Dax.
Now, Colton has a really nice drop kick. Did you see his drop kick?
It's pretty smooth.
It gets pretty high too, and he does that every match. It's like one of his spots, if you will. That kid's got a future. I like Colton way better than Austin, even though Austin's a good rapper.
They both work hard, you know, and the gimmick is getting there, and it's getting over. The crowd was, you know, chanting Ass Boys throughout the. It's funny that you mentioned to me, Vito, in our messaging earlier about not wanting to drop language on the vlog, and I was gonna text you and be like, well, I'm gonna have to say Ass Boys like 15, 20 times. So like, I guess it just doesn't matter.
It was that other word I was using.
Right.
Out of my pure anger, which we'll hear in just a couple minutes. Very momentarily. Get that bleep button ready.
They do a bunch of quick tags. Basically, you know, Gun Club puts in some double team work. They go to commercial. Caster gets tagged back in. And then Punk gets the hot tag. It's a very interesting hot tag. They didn't really drag it out too much. It was weird because I think they wanted to go to it a lot sooner, but they had to wait for the commercial break to come back. And then like
I kind of missed that, I guess.
Yeah. No, it was weird because like by the time the commercial, you know, by the time they came back from commercial, it was like the momentum had like stalled quite a bit in the build up. But, you know, it was fine. You know, stuff happens. It's live TV. Punk gets that hot tag. He almost falls on his face because he trips on the rope jumping in.
I saw that.
And so, you know, we're lucky he didn't break his neck. Punk and Cash clean house. Punk back body drops Cash over the rope to attack a couple of guys on the outside. Punk tags Dax in. He hits the GTS on Austin Gunn, who falls right into the big swig. Is that what it's called?
The big rig.
The big rig. Okay, not the big swig. The big rig.
It's for Brody. They named it after Brody.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, pardon my ignorance on that one. And Dax makes the pin.
I'm here for.
Cool finish. Great match.
Yeah.
Punk and FTR pose with all the belts. What'd you think of this one, Vete?
Did you see when Billy Gunn got on the apron and I think it was Punk who tried power bombing one of the boys into him?
Right. He got
And he
involved a
dropped
couple
short.
times. I browsed over that, but yeah.
He dropped short of the power bomb on the rope. He might have hit the bottom rope maybe, and Billy Gunn took the took the fall off the rope anyway. I was like, oh, you're so sweet still trying to do something like that. Good job, Billy.
Right? Yeah, he's
It
out
was
there
such
taking
a
bumps.
yeah, it was such a sad spot that I was like, why'd you even try to bump? It was ridiculous. And did you see Caster put the leg up like he was going to put a sharpshooter on Dax?
Yes, they did a tease of the sharpshooter as well.
And Punk's eyes were about to blow up out of his head.
Right.
And I was like, oh, the only thing that came up with on me, I was like, Punk's, when his eyes open like that, I was like, oh no, another shitty sharpshooter.
Right. Please don't. But then on the other hand, if he would have been if he would have been the only guy that actually pulled it off all week.
Oh yeah.
That would have been something else as well.
Yeah, that would have been something.
But no, this was awesome.
After the finish, I do want to say something quick and weird happened before the angering thing happened for me. When Dax was on the microphone, he said something about Finley. Did you catch that? He said Finley.
Really?
Yeah. I assume he's talking about David Finley. But as a tag team, his old partner was Juice Robinson, but now he's part of Bullet Club. So Finjuice isn't a tag team anymore, I think. I don't think David Finley joined Bullet Club. But for some reason, I heard Dax say the word Finley. So, I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. Now you can...
At some point, they announced Finley versus Page for next week, I believe.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was towards the end. I thought that... They announced a lot of matches for next week.
We've got a loaded Rampage and a loaded Dynamite.
I didn't write all those down, but they started rattling them off throughout the night.
Yeah.
But after Dax, go ahead. Say what happened.
Well, they do a promo, FTR, and I didn't, like you, I didn't really catch what they said because my kids were talking. And I was just, and then all of a sudden Punk had the mic. And then we get Tanahashi. So we were both wrong, Vito. No.
Punk yells. He yells, I know you're back there, Forbidden Door. That's what he says. He says, I know you're back there, Forbidden Door.
Okay.
He says, excuse me. He says, what's he say? Show me who I got. Or something like that. I think he was expecting someone to show up on a picture of someone to show up on the screen or something.
Right.
I was like, oh yes. You know what I'm thinking. I was like, Kenta is coming. Kenta, here he comes. They do your boy Vito dirty. They do him dirty. Like you said, we got Tanahashi, not Kenta.
Well,
what are they going to do, Brandon? How are they going to swerve it? How are they going to put Kenta in there over Tanahashi?
I don't know, man. It's kind of one of those things where I don't really watch a whole lot of New Japan, but I get the impression that Kenta's kind of like mid-card there at best. So, you know what I mean?
You're right.
So that's kind of the problem with having that match.
So we can't have mid-card wrestle the champ? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, that's just not the hierarchy of how they do things. I mean, it would be a great match, and I can't remember who I had Punk or anyone against right off the top of my head. I know I
went and looked up my notes, and if you were watching our video or listening to our podcast of Forbidden Door
the Forbidden Door prediction.
Yeah,
Fantasy
armchair
booking.
predictioning.
Yeah.
Fantasy booking, that's the word I was looking for.
There you
Our
go.
fantasy booking of Forbidden Door.
Right.
I had Tanahashi going against Andrade. So now Andrade doesn't have a match. Thanks a lot, Punk.
So
Kenta was right there, too.
do you think that, I mean, so Punk goes against Tanahashi.
It's going to be amazing. Right off the bat, let me just say that. It's going to be amazing.
It'll be great, but do you think this is the only main event, or do you think we get like Okada against somebody as well?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I mean,
Okada's going to be someone.
Or is that going to be it? I mean, is that it? Is it just, I mean, that can't be it, right? I mean, you also got to have
Okada's going to get someone big. Yes. Yeah, Okada's going to get someone really good. I don't know who.
So apparently that's the plan, is to have not a champion versus champion, but have each champion.
Which you said originally that'd probably be a bad idea, having champ versus champ.
It would have been interesting, but then there's a lot of political BS that they got to deal with, and this way just each side can keep their belts and whatever. There's no kind of political bad blood or anything like that. But so we get that. Now Vito, bro, MJF out for a promo. They advertised that he was going to do this promo during the first match, and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. Because
I was surprised.
Right. We're hearing all these, if you read the sheets and everything, it says, it said that he was going to be taking time off and this and that and the other thing. Plus, I guess we just didn't really expect, at least I didn't, that he would even be on this show. And I didn't really write down what he said because I just sat there in awe.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
I did have a couple questions for you though.
Okay.
And a lengthy statement.
Go for it, my man.
So he said a lot of stuff, right? And it was all really intense. He basically was trying to, get fired at the end. Basically, he's just talking shit to the boss, don't get paid enough, pretty much everything the internet says. What it all boils down to, Brandon, I got to ask you, shoot or work?
It's a work shoot.
Yep.
This is your classic work shoot.
Yeah.
They're definitely taking this and using it, which is a smart idea.
Yeah, it can't be 100% shoot, or he wouldn't have a mic in the ring with a camera on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was out there for a long time. He was out there for so long with some dramatic pauses that I was waiting for a New Japan guy to come down.
Right.
I was starting to run through my head. I was like, who can wrestle him? Yano? Who can wrestle him? I was like, Yano is the one that kept running through my mind. I don't even know if he was my predicted guy. I just wanted to see Yano come down there and kick the shit out of him.
Right, somebody. But no, it was brilliant, and like I had mentioned to you earlier, before we got on, this was really the impression that I got after it was over was like, this was really like the pipe bomb on steroids. If you look at this is like, and, this was literally, I think it outdoes that promo. And we'll have to see, like, kind of how the
crowd was turning.
He had him kind of confused, but
teetering. I mean, they were cheering and going back and forth. But I have a problem with something that he said.
What's that?
He said that he's wrestled so much and carried this company on his back and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I did some research. for tonight's conversation, if you will.
Oh my God! All right, lay it on me.
So when he says carry the company on his back, the company's been around for 3 years, right?
Right.
So would you take his 2022 record to prove that fact, or his career record?
Well, what's the difference?
What do you think? Well, he's only had 5 matches in 2022.
Right.
As opposed to Eddie Kingston, who's had 7, Darby, who's had 13, Dante Martin, who's had 21, Hangman Page has had 10, Wardlow's had 14. He just had his first match for the company last night or tonight.
Right.
And he's already had 14 this year. Scorpio's had 12, Sammy's had 13, and Starks has had 13.
So pretty
all
lightweight.
Just this year. Yeah.
So his matches have been bigger matches. They've used them less, really.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. But his career is way smaller than all those guys, too.
Really?
Amount of matches.
Oh.
Now, you can say carried it on his back by, like you just said, big matches. But as far as amount of matches, he doesn't even touch all those guys. Eddie, Darby, Dante, Hangman, Wardlow, Scorpio, Sammy, and Starks, and many more. Those are just the ones I chose to pick.
I really like that you brought up that point, and that really makes me think as well. And this thought just came into my mind. And I'll play off of you on this as well, that was maybe kind of a flub, and maybe he should have directed the promo more or less about, his speaking ability. Of course, you have to kind of talk about, in-ring stuff a little bit, but I think it would have been more, maybe more impactful if he talked about what he really brings to the table and why people really want to see him. For the most part, is because of what he's going to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
for example,
the work
right
is
here,
fine, but
I'll
it's the
mention
promos.
2 of these. Okay, hold on. I'm seeing a pattern here. His losses are only, he's 31-12 in his career in the last 3 years. Okay. Now, of all those guys I mentioned, he's got. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys that I just told you the numbers for
right.
this year's, right?
Uh-huh.
So he's got less losses than all those guys except for 1, 2, and 2. Okay, 2 of those guys have less losses, but both of them, all those guys on that list, have more wins than him. The only one who has more wins and less losses are Starks and, surprise, surprise, Wardlow.
Huh.
Ricky Starks is 47-11, and Wardlow is 51-8. Well, 52-8 now.
Well, we appreciate that deep dive into the stats there, Vito. We don't get that sort of thing every week on this podcast and on this video here. So, no,
Yep, I mean, no problem. My pleasure.
The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. And actually, that's what I like about AEW, that they keep track of their stats. And they have that ranking system.
I like it.
Wins and losses matter. So that's what I like.
They do matter.
I can actually go look that up.
And they keep track, and it's like, it's actually a real thing, not like the Goldberg, streak that would get inflated by like 12 in a week's time. You know what I mean? It's like, what did he, you know what I mean? No, every guy he beat, like if he beats, 4 guys in a row, that's, that's part of the streak. The 4-on-1 match, that counts as 4 guys.
So we went from an exciting promo to an exciting return. Tell them all about it. What do we get?
What do we get? We got Miro, baby.
Whoop,
That's
whoop.
right. Johnny Lee
Redeemer.
Miro. It was weird because they show this like backstage promo where he's like talking about God and all this stuff. And then
it's weird.
And then the announcers kind of act like, oh, well, Miro's going to be a problem for some people down the road. And then, like, here it was almost like they didn't know that he was actually coming out. It was just weird. But yeah,
I didn't
makes his
know
return.
if he was coming out either. I was like, is this like a vignette for next month? And all of a sudden it's like, oh no, he is coming out right now. Okay. That was really interesting.
At first I thought, I'm like, why are they putting this vignette in the middle of these entrances? Are they trying to be like Raw now with all these like pointless like video packages in between the entrances, and we're gonna make the person wait in the ring for 20 minutes while we do video packages and commercials before the match even starts?
Nope. We didn't get that.
This was a nice, quick little number. Vito, take us through this. I didn't really take much down. What caught your eye about this match?
I know there was one thing that Johnny Elite did. He did like an off the top rope. Oh no, he did something. I think it was off top rope, but Miro moved. And then as he was landing on his feet, he ended up I think he stepped on Miro. And then Miro just rolled on through it and then went and grabbed him like it was nothing.
I saw that.
I was like, did he actually step up? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he squashed right on his leg, on his thigh, I think.
Right.
So
it looked like a botch, but he rolled out of it.
Yeah.
And saved
it just went on through.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It was not a squash match, but it was a good match, I thought.
It was short, but they still did kind of a 50-50 deal. Johnny looked good, but Miro gets the win with the whatever he calls it now.
Super painful looking submission. Game over.
The accolade. No, that's not what he calls it anymore, right?
Game over.
Game over.
It's called game over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's when he bends back, man. And he falls back with it.
It's the camel clutch on roids.
So painful. Yeah.
So no, I'm excited for what they're going to do with Miro. They really need to just put him into the upper tier.
He's coming back for that TNT title
as soon as possible. Oh, I hope they don't stick him in TNT. I mean, maybe he would bring back some legitimacy to that division, because that's been a lot of people's complaints that I've seen. Feedback in general.
I don't have a complaint with the TNT title. I like it just, hovering where it's at. I don't think that the changing back and forth between Scorpio and Sammy is a bad thing. The matches were great. I mean, it's wrapped up now. It wrapped up kind of, but I
think it's fine because I don't
see TNT as a mid card, not like the 24/7 title.
Oh, it's much more prestigious than that.
I think it's more prestigious than the Intercontinental and US title too.
I mean, at this point, it would be hard to make an argument. I guess we could debate that, but it's kind of like an apples and oranges thing, when you compare across the companies at this point. I mean, yeah.
Most of that, it's how they're treated and represented. Honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Who's the Intercontinental Champion right now?
I want to say it's Ricochet, but I don't know that for certain. It's on SmackDown, and I don't really catch SmackDown that often.
I thought that was the U.S. title.
The U.S. title's on Raw now, and that's Austin Theory's department. Kind of sucks. He's okay, but I'm not super high on him.
I guess they're doing okay things with that one. Anyway, moving on.
But yeah, no, Intercontinental right now, Ricochet's feuding with Walter, and that's good shit.
Yeah.
But,
Walter's cool.
It comes and goes. But anyway, yeah.
We don't hate WWE on this YouTube or podcast.
This is not
just politely comparing titles.
No. I mean, no, it's fine. We,
there are
things.
Just want to clear that up for the watchers and listeners.
There are things that drive me nuts about WWE, but I love both companies. There are things I love about both of them. I'm higher on AEW currently.
Oh, yes.
Like a lot of us are out there in the IWC world, but it's just, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But yeah, speaking of WWE and sports entertainment,
your guys,
we recap Anarchy in the Arena, and we got the Jazz out, brother. The Jazz.
Which you are a proud member of, right?
Absolutely. I'm on board with this. They do a promo. The guy.
Hey, hold on a second. I just got to point something out.
What?
In the beginning, you were worried. Oh, let me fix my camera here. There we go. You were worried about Jericho and his music as a heel, but I think that he has found a way to use it as a heel.
I like it.
Like tonight, he shut it off before it even got to the sing-along part.
Before the chorus.
Yep.
Which was perfect.
Shut it off. Yep.
Yep.
He found a way to use it.
Exactly.
Yep.
That way he could still use the music, but still be a heel about it. I think it's brilliant. Jericho always finds a way to figure shit out, dude. He always figures it out. That is one thing you can count on with Chris Jericho, is that he will figure it out and make it entertaining and make it make sense. I love that, man. And no, what's his name in the Jazz? Not Menard, but the other guy gets the mic and he does the AEW Galaxy thing, and he says, "Appreciate us," with a wink. So once again, a little nod to the Big E and the Big Dog.
Big E and the Big Dog.
The Big Dog, if you will. I thought that was a brilliant line. But yeah, no, we get, they're going to keep this feud going with the BCC in Kingston. Eddie and Regal come out. Eddie has Regal do the honors to challenge them to blood and guts. Jericho refuses, says Kingston belongs in a cage, not them. And then Ortiz sneaks in and attacks Jericho, cuts off a lock of his hair. And, JAS had went to go chase off Kingston, and this allowed this to happen. So they come back to make the save. And then Jericho gets on the mic, accepts the challenge for blood and guts only if Ortiz accepts his challenge for a hair versus hair match.
Now, let me think about this for a minute. Who do you see losing that match?
Because it's got to be Ortiz.
Ortiz's hair is like a style. Like he styles his hair in like little tiny braids, and he always does it. Sometimes it's in a big afro. It's like part of his character almost. Now on Jericho's hands, he's a front man of a rock band. You can't have a bald front man of a rock band. Are you kidding me?
He's rocked the short hair before, but...
Oh, you're right, he has.
Yeah, but he's he's thinning a little bit up there.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot all about that.
Okay. I know all about that myself, man. And he's thinning a little bit. That's why I don't see him cutting it right now.
So Ortiz and his awesome hair is losing it, huh?
Plus, he's got to get a little bit more heat going into this match.
Yeah. And he's also going to burn him because wizards burn.
Right. I love it how, Kingston is a psycho for bringing out the gas and trying to light him on fire, but he's in complete denial about how he's burnt people. That's another little great layer to that character and just what Jericho is doing.
I'm a wizard, and wizards burn. I'm like, wizards burn, dude. You learn something new every day. Wizards burn.
And it's actually part of his name graphic now when it comes out. He's the Wizard, Chris Jericho. It's actually on there, so it's official.
Did you hear what Becky Lynch said?
Yes.
We talk about Becky Lynch a lot on our AEW podcast.
She wants us to talk about her, I guess, from doing this stuff. I was actually watching Raw the other night when she made those comments, and I heard her say the wizard thing, and I was like, really, Becky? You're gonna copy Jericho? And then she changed it to the magician thing. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And I really wondered if she got fed that line or if it was something she came up with on her own. And then she was like, I'm just going to switch it. Yeah. She kind of came out with that in the tweet. She said, I liked that line better. So that was kind of insinuating that she had been fed the wizard line. But
yeah,
pretty interesting stuff. We get a backstage segment with the Jay Lethal stable taking out Samoa Joe with a chair. Wrapping his arm in the chair and then throwing him into some shit backstage. So
on the shoulder.
Right. Further hurting that shoulder of Joe. So we're going to continue on with that. And then we got the, 10-man tag? Matt, Darby, Jungle Boy, and Lucha, Christian, against Bucks, Red Dragon, and
Hikuleo. Yeah.
Vito, take us through this. I was kind of in and out on this match, but it seemed like it was just fine.
It was nice. It was really awesome. I liked that there was a tag between Christian and Matt Hardy, not Darby Hardy, but Matt Hardy. There was a TLC callback TLC callback moment, tag, and then they discuss it if they, you tag me, we're cool, we know each other from the past. Cool, let's talk for a second. Fans, yay! Right, man. The commentators commented TLC. It was an interesting, not awkward. Could have been awkward if something happened, but it was cool for us nostalgia guys. Yeah. Jungle Boy hit this awesome hurricane from the top rope to the outside. Great, beautiful. It was really just action all over the place. Great action. Spots were hit. Every guy hit their spot. I don't think anyone did not hit their spot. But it was great. Great finish.
Bucks ended with the Meltzer driver on Jungle Boy, right?
And Red Dragon hit the high-low too at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was a simultaneous type finish. Bucks get the big win in their hometown.
Yep.
The Cucamonga Kids, as Jim Cornette calls them.
From Rancho Cucamonga.
But, this was, definitely, and I'm surprised that there was no real, follow-up kind of thingy here. I imagine we'll get the angle, their Forbidden Door angle within the next couple weeks, but.
So, our AEW podcast / YouTube show would not be the same if we didn't discuss Jeff Hardy.
Well,
who was gone from this match because he was injured, and that's how we got Darby Hardy.
Right.
Just like Cole was not in this match, which is how we got Hikuleo. So,
right.
Jeff was out. wonder if that has anything to do with how he's been so oldish.
Well, yeah, and then, they even came out and said that on commentary that he needed to heal up, injuries from the match or whatever. It was just kind of how they sold it. They still had him there.
From matches three weeks ago.
It's a tough scene. It's a tough scene with your brother Nero.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, like, literally, like, my daughter, like, that's her association with the Hardys, because, like, she doesn't have that
broken.
Right. She doesn't have that like, our generation, like, grew up on
Team
the Hardy.
Extreme.
Right. Her first exposure to them was that. So every time she sees Jeff and Brother Nero, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Like, I don't even really think about that hardly, but pretty interesting. We get a backstage Swerve in his Glory promo.
Weird.
He introduces a bunch of, like, music industry friends that he has. Didn't really catch who they were.
And then he started talking about, like, Shaq and Kobe, and I was like, neither of those guys are Shaq and Kobe. Like, I'm really confused about what he was talking about.
They were associated with them somehow, or I don't even know.
I don't know. I tuned out. My note for that is Swerve announced a lot of people.
I will say, I listened to Swerve on Jericho's podcast. I think might have been the latest episode. Go check that out. It's a good listen.
Yeah.
He talked about how he's like a rapper and stuff, and his exit from WWE and that whole thing. It was a pretty interesting story. He really kind of got the shaft.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone pretended they liked him, basically, and, when it was all...
Yeah, and the whole team got shafted, the whole...
Hit row.
Hit row, yeah. They all got shafted pretty much one at a time.
Yeah. Just weird. Just weird how they do things like that, but... so that's, go check that out if you get a chance. Then we get Athena to the stage for a Shivani promo. She says she's going to be the one to break Jade's streak. She gets interrupted by Jade and her crew, including Hathaway, who does some talking.
Including Smart Mark Sterling.
Sterling was not there. We'd see him later, though, which was interesting. We'll get to that, of course, but Hathaway is announced as his publicist, or Jade's publicist is what Excalibur describes him as. Anna Jay and Statlander come out to even the odds, and they do a standoff. Gets broken up. So we're going to get that 6-chick tag probably, and that'll lead into Athena.
It's called
Jade.
Trios, Brandon.
At some point. Trios.
Trios match.
Trios, Chios,
Chios. It's a Chios match. I like that.
Cheetos match.
So, what I've gathered out of that is when Jade handed him the microphone and said, "This is the best speaker."
Right.
So, publicist equals speaker, manager. So, that's what a publicist is, a mouthpiece. So there it is. Hathaway's her mouthpiece.
Just
there it is. Jade can't talk anymore, so Hathaway's there to talk for her. What's his name? Malcolm Piven? Is that his name?
Well, his old gimmick, Malcolm Blevins. Now back to Stokely. Back to Stokely Hathaway.
Stokely Hathaway.
And just such wordy names. His name couldn't have been like, Steve Earle or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this will keep going. Then we got Wardlow out. he walks to the stage, and then they finally kick on his entrance music.
He got full on Goldberg. The camera got him all the way from the backstage, almost from the parking lot.
I thought it was a nice touch.
It was. He's definitely going to be the next Goldberg. Like I said, his record is 51-8 in his career. That's pretty. I mean, it's not 51-0, but 51-8 is pretty good.
He completely squashes JD Drake. JD Drake should get like the Jobber of the Year award at this point, basically.
Yeah.
He's carrying on the tradition of Barry Horowitz.
Yeah.
And the Brooklyn Brawler, all the great jobbers of all time.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
2 power bombs and a foot cover.
Yeah. No problem at all, of course. And then, like we mentioned, Sterling comes out. Actually, Shivani goes to try to interview Wardlow. He gets interrupted by Sterling, says that him and the Security Guards Union of America, or whatever he referred to it as.
I went back and I rewound it so I can write it down. Yes. Okay. American Arena Security Professionals.
American Arena Security Professionals.
Yep.
And
it's official, baby.
Okay.
The AASP.
I'm glad you got the exact acronym, Vito, because he has a staff guy serve Wardlow the papers, and says he's suing his ass and he'll see him in court.
Did you catch Wardlow when the security guy got in the ring? He grabbed the microphone from the Shivani and said, "This guy doesn't watch the product." And put the microphone down.
I heard him say that, but was he talking about the security guard?
Yeah, he was talking about the security guard getting in the ring.
Oh, okay.
He looked at the audience. He's like, sense. This guy doesn't watch the product.
Yeah. This guy doesn't know what he's in for.
Yeah. He don't know what's about to happen. Oh, man, I popped for that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And ultimately, that's what happens. He gets power bombed. Yeah. And so we're going to keep this going with him and Sterling. Even though it's kind of brilliant, they ease out MJF out of this into something else, in which we kind of, we talked a lot about it, but I didn't get the chance to ask you coming back, the MJF deal. Where do we go from here? This has got to be like Austin McMahon 2.0, right? Like, that has to be where this is going.
Tony doesn't get on TV.
He came out with Martha at the pay-per-view for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
He comes out sometimes.
Yeah, but not on the microphone. He's not a character.
Right.
He comes out as Tony Khan to, hugs and show checks and whatnot, but he's not going to come out and argue with someone on the microphone.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not Mr. McMahon. He's not authority figure number 2. You know what I mean?
So this kind of, I don't know, man. This kind of,
I can't answer what's going to happen with MJF. I'm waiting just like you. I'm not even going to make a prediction. I can't tell you.
All right. We'll let it play out.
I don't know.
I really can't say I have an answer to that either.
I'll make a prediction for anything else except for MJF.
All right. Well, my original point was they found a way to ease MJF out, but keep it going with Sterling. So now Sterling can just kind of be the guy that feeds dudes to Wardlow, kind of.
Maybe Spears is next for Wardlow.
Possible.
I mean, he wasn't there tonight, but I mean, that's still left over.
That's possible.
MJF is obviously doing something totally different than, say, Pinnacle. He's in his own. This is something totally different. So, so that leaves Spears kind of off on the side, and he's still got unfinished business with Wardlow. That'd give him something
to do.
Yeah.
Because, I don't really know what else you do with him at this point. You kind of just have to move him away and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But they could lead to that, of course, or it could just be kind of a throwaway TV match and they move Wardlow on to something else. Really, either thing could happen.
Yeah.
Then we get Scorpio Sky backstage promo, Dante Martin. That sets up their match for Rampage on Friday. That should be awesome.
It's funny that Dante grabbed his hand while he was trying to turn off the lights. It's like, oh.
Yeah. He C-blocked him.
Yeah.
On his gimmick. That should be a great match. I wish I knew what time Rampage was on. Maybe I'll set the DVR for it and just hope it records. Because they keep changing the time of the damn thing. But what are you going to do? Next up, we had an awesome tag team match. Dude, this was probably my favorite match of the night.
Yeah, take that, Becky Lynch.
Right? Bro, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, Ruby Soho, Tony Storm. So much cool stuff happened. Vito, take us through this one, and I'll kind of add some flavor to it at the end.
Tony Storm did a rope change after a drop down. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, wasn't that sick?
Have you ever seen that before? I've never even seen that before. Britt Baker does a drop down, and she runs off the other side. Britt Baker looks up, boom, takes a drop kick right in the old choppers.
There's a couple spots that I can't say that I've seen before. A couple of things they did to the outside, too.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Ruby, top rope, Jamie Hayter on the outside. Ruby dives. Jamie Hayter supposed to catch her in a crossbody. She did not catch her. She took that. Jamie Hayter took that whole thing. They splashed straight to the ground.
Yeah.
She looked like she caught her, but that whole momentum went straight to the ground.
Oh yeah, no, her head.
It was great looking spot, and it was so fast. You're not supposed to see that fast. That's why it was so weird looking.
Right.
But no, she did not catch her.
Yeah. Well, for a fact, either way.
It looked awesome. It looked like neither of them got hurt, but it was great.
These girls worked their ass off.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. It was... when I say she didn't catch her, it's like she didn't... It looked like she was supposed to catch her in, like, the crossbody form.
Right.
Ruby hit her on target and everything, and it's like Jamie Hayter's body collapsed underneath Ruby. Oh, man, it was so good.
Yeah. It was a more realistic impact.
Yes.
Looked brutal, but more realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. No, they did all kinds of great stuff here. And like I said, this is my favorite match of the night. Really stiff. Super stiff, like kicks and stuff like that. Yeah, no, and then we get a surprise finish.
Yeah, the finish was cool too. I enjoyed the finish. It was like it's kind of weird because Jamie Hayter almost hit Britt Baker on the ropes, but that's the way Britt made it look. But they weren't like really gonna collide the way they were going. I was like, wait a minute, you guys. I mean, it was close, but it's like it wasn't gonna work out.
Right.
And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you're right. It was like two reversals and weird looking Sister Abigail looking thing.
It was a little bit of like miscommunication was just kind of the whole thought.
Yeah.
I think was, which is simple enough.
Yeah.
And
it still was good.
Even if it was a little rough, it didn't ruin how much I enjoyed the match at that point.
No.
It was like,
no,
it was still fine. Yeah, no, I think, gosh, it's a shame that they don't have girl tag titles, maybe they don't need those, but I think especially these two teams, I would love to see do more stuff. I mean, I think.
Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker are gonna split up soon.
Ooh, okay.
It's strange to me that they still are together now. I mean, I think it should be less than a month before they're split up.
They started pre-building that, but kind of cooled off on it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, which I think they're gonna just do it because they cooled off on it. I think it's just gonna be one of those type things where it's just gonna pop out of nowhere.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair.
Yep. So Ruby hits the finish on what's it? Would they say the name of that was Destination Unknown?
Destination Unknown. Yeah. Just taking it from the song.
Like a good sharp Sister Abigail.
Absolutely. No, and I was surprised that Ruby got the win here, but like you said, maybe that plays back into the split between Britt and Hayter, but they did get their heat back at the end.
Yes.
Hayter came in with the Owen Hart cut belt and clocked them both out, and the heels, even though they lost, they ended up standing tall.
Yeah. Britt Baker came in and got her belt from Jamie Hayter. Didn't have the type of look I thought she'd have from taking the belt from her.
Right.
But still had a little bit of a look.
That's my title.
Not much. Not much of a look, but still a glimmer of a look.
It's my title, ho.
Yeah.
It's my title.
Give me back my baby. Oh, man.
Then we get the main event, right? Unless I'm missing something. We roll into the main event.
Main event time, baby.
Daniel Garcia, Jon Moxley. Mox bleeds into this, a couple minutes into the match, and we get a nice stiff fest here as well.
Moxley is the best bleeder. He loves to bleed.
Do you think that they should go? I don't know. I was kind of thinking that maybe they should do the Wild Thing New Jack deal full time. I don't know if that's too gimmicky for Mox. He would probably never go for it. But they should do
every one of his matches.
Yeah. Kick ass to a soundtrack. You know what I mean? I think we need more of that in wrestling. I think they just need to do it. He needs to be that guy. I don't know.
So at the beginning of this match, they announced that Blood and Guts is going to be June 29th.
On a Dynamite episode, right?
Yeah. Well, they did. They said Dynamite later, but I found that out later on. But it kind of threw me off because June 29th is only 3 days after Forbidden Door. So I was like, man, that's really quick to do that. But you're right. It is on a Dynamite, which makes it even cooler. A Blood and Guts Dynamite.
You know what that sounds like to me, bro? And I don't know. It could
sounds
be
like we get to review a Blood and Guts match.
Well, absolutely that. But if they're going to do that 3 days after Forbidden Door, that makes me think that they're building to that and that all 10 of those guys are off the show. No, that can't be. You can't not have Danielson on the show. I mean, everyone else.
Moxley.
Definitely Moxley, too. Everyone else is kind of up for debate. Jericho, I guess, too. Right? But, I wonder if they.
Well, they're not going to have, death matches or something.
Right.
I mean.
Maybe they just have. Yeah. I guess that'll still make sense.
Yeah, they can still do it.
And just
if it was the other way around, I don't think so. I don't think they could have a Blood and Guts match on Sunday and then go have a New Japan match on Wednesday.
And then follow up with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mox gets the win. And, we had Regal and Jericho on commentary, of course. They were great.
Regal was in a crazy, weird, good mood, wasn't he? He was spouting stuff off. Dave Taylor was in the audience. Macaulay Culkin was in the audience. It was a weird situation.
Squire Dave Taylor.
Yeah.
Man, that's a name. Going back.
That slam on the stairs. Did you see that? That was ugly.
Brutality.
Yeah.
This match was
I love Moxley, man.
Right. They just took the aggression and the intensity up like a step further from the girls. Threw a little bit of blood in there. That's how you top off a show.
Garcia tried doing Moxley's elbows. Did you see that?
Oh, gosh.
It looked so weird.
Yeah.
His little chicken arms trying to do it. I was like, stop doing that.
You know, Garcia looked like he was like selling when he first came out, didn't he? Wasn't he kind of still selling injuries from Anarchy?
I didn't notice that.
In the arena? He looked like he was kind of hobbling a little bit.
One thing I can say is I saw an actual good sharpshooter.
See? So there's still hope.
Finally, someone put on a decent sharpshooter. So, but the Bulldog choke wins after a sweet paradigm shift.
Well, it really couldn't have ended any other way. But yeah, Mox gets the big win, and this stuff continues, and we have
when Mox said he was down for the blood and guts too.
Well, we've already accepted Mox. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
Your homies accepted the challenge for you, but there you go. Oh yeah, and then we got they did some extracurricular stuff. Kingston got his hands on Jericho for a bit, right? He was beating up somebody outside. I was trying to get the pod ready. It's always
Jericho came out and tried to distract him, and Kingston came out. Yeah, there was all that. I was so distracted by Moxley, and God, he really is so good.
There's bits and pieces of the end that get lost on me because, you know, just trying to get everything ready to send you the call and all that. But regardless, awesome episode of Dynamite. Go and watch it. Watch the whole damn thing. Vito, what are you rating this thing?
Man. You know, I was thinking all the way through it, knowing that you were going to ask me this question at the end of it. I was like, man, can I really give this thing 5 stars? I mean, 5 stars is a perfect thing. I mean, so I'm going to give it 4.75 stars. Just because the Scissor Crew is on there, so they lose a quarter of a star.
Okay.
For the Scissor Crew.
Well, Vito, you know,
and the Joe's shoulder thing. I don't understand what's going on with that. They're gonna have to get me more into that Joe's shoulder Sanjay Dutt thing.
It's just weird because it seems like that's going to be like Ring of Honor stuff, but it's still like it's taken up like, you know, quite a bit. I don't know, not a lot of time on AEW TV every week, but
it's just kind of weird.
Tony's committed to pushing this ROH thing, so which is great, and I hope that they finally get some kind of a plan soon.
I'm 100% behind, but it's weird.
You know, with the Warner Media executives in the house, which is a real thing. I had heard that, you know, MJF made that comment in the promo about how the higher ups were there. And I did hear that as well over the weekend, that like there were going to be people checking out the product, you know, that had like, you know, say or whatever in like their whole new business, you know, whoever Warner Media, you know, whatever the whole thing is. So, Vito, you give it 4.75. Yep. I'm going to take it just a slightly down from that. Like I said, it's one of the best shows I've watched in a long time as far as TV goes. Still, with that being said, the main event was great. semi-anticlimactic for me, though. So just for that, I'll put it down to 4.5. Just a step below yours.
That's your best record for AEW Dynamite.
Absolutely. And you could argue anywhere between 4 and 5 stars on this show, I would say. But I think it was great. You know, if we had a little bit more high-profile main event, I think it's a 5. And the main event was great, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't high profile, you know. It just didn't feel like an important match. It was a good match, but it didn't feel like super important, if that makes any sense.
Oh, for sure.
So, that's it, my buddy, my dude.
That was a good night.
We rocked and rolled this awesome episode. Like I said, once again, check out this episode. Go on your Hulu or on your whatever.
Wherever you get your wrestles.
Wherever you get your wrestling. Vito, plug some stuff for us, buddy.
Oh, man, Vito TV. Come and watch it. I got a few videos. More videos are coming every week.
Vito TV. You can see Vito on Power Pit Pro Wrestling as well.
Yes. Right? Unfortunately, we have not got to talk about this, so this is breaking news to you too, but our show this month has got canceled.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So we'll discuss that after this. But
okay.
So our next show is, I believe it's July 2nd. Okay. So look forward to that. There's also Power Pit on YouTube and all the other socials. So Power Pit Pro Wrestling, Roseburg, Oregon.
Sweet. PWPlanet.com. Vito.
That's right.
Give me some love. Give me some Wolfpack, and we are out of here.
Where we at here? Oh, there we go.
We'll see you next week. Ah!